Hello and welcome back to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. So this is the start of something relatively exciting. I'm here in my greenhouse and this is the start of what is going to be a weekly vlog. So alongside the videos that I'm doing, all the recipe videos, all of the wild food sort of stuff, I thought I'd take the opportunity to bring you guys into my life and show you what goes on behind the scenes in order to make all of that stuff happen. And this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So as some of you might know if you've been following the channel for a while, I do a lot of gardening. My garden, I have pretty much turned over my lawn and made it into an allotment. So we are here in the greenhouse that we put up last year. And over the winter months, I like to bring a chair into the greenhouse. So even on rainy days, I can come and sit out here and edit the videos and yeah, just get a little bit of sunlight really and have the sort of outside experience but indoors. So I sort of use it like a conservatory. So I'm just sort of getting ready for that at the moment. This here is absolutely insane. It's early November now and this tomato plant is still flowering and putting on these beautiful little fruit. It's a variety called sweet pea currant and it creates these really small currant sized tomatoes that are absolutely delicious. So with it being November, the days are getting shorter and it is getting relatively cold, but I'm going to leave this here as an experiment just to see how long I can keep this fruiting for. But yeah, it seems pretty happy. I think it's pretty happy because it's escaped its pot and managed to get its roots down into the brickwork, so it's tapping into all of that water and nutrients that's underneath the greenhouse at the moment. The plan for today is to do a little bit of stuff in the garden. I've got some things to plant that are going in now, ready for early next season, and then I'm going to go out on a walk and see what I can find. So usually what I do with some of my foraging videos is the day before or the morning before I'll go on like a reconnaissance walk and just see what's about, how everything's looking, just so I can sort of get an idea of what the structure of the video is going to be, what I need to talk about, etc. Because it doesn't come easy presenting for me. So a lot of thought and sort of scripting goes into being able to talk to the camera. Can you hear that jackhammer? It is way too hot in here to be wearing a fleece. So yes, today you guys will be able to come along with me on my reconnaissance walk and see what's going on here in the beautiful British countryside on a really sunny day in early November. It is a beautiful day for walking. I don't know if you can see that. It's currently 27 degrees here in the greenhouse. Now the first thing that I've got to plant today is garlic. Now we get through a lot of garlic in our household, so we thought that we'd branch out this year and grow some more varieties. Now some of you guys that do gardening will know that the Isle of Wight is famous for its garlic. There's a place called the Garlic Farm that is famous throughout the world, and they cultivate and create all sorts of different cultivars of garlic that people grow up and down the country, across Europe, etc. And it's actually really interesting. They've got like a research group that goes to far-flung places in the world just trying to find different sort of species of garlic. And then they bring them back, see if we can cultivate them in our climate, and then sell them on. So lots of the varieties of garlic that you buy at your garden centre will be called things like Rhapsody White, W-I-G-H-T, and that is because they come from the Isle of Wight, where I am. So yesterday we went to the garlic farm itself, and they've got a fantastic little farm shop that's attached to it, and they sell lots of seed garlic for people to grow their own, as well as offering advice on how to get the best results out of it. It's really a fantastic place to go if ever you're on the Isle of Wight. Go to the garlic farm. It's got an incredible restaurant there as well. You can get good food. Inside the garlic farm shop as well, they also have more varieties than they sell in their online store, so you can get lots of different cultivars that people elsewhere might not be able to grow. So that being said, we have 3 varieties here. We got this one which is called Rhapsody White, which I think is a cultivar that is crossed with a sort of Chinese garlic, so it is really early producing, so we should be getting bulbs quite early on in the season next year, early summer. And then we have rose white, which I think has got like a lovely sort of blush pinky purple skin. I think the tasting notes on that one said that it was sort of like a medium flavoured garlic, so not incredibly punchy, but beautiful garlic flavour. And then we got this one. We've written the varieties on the bag so that we don't mix them up. So this one is called Kingsland White. So this is a type of garlic, I think, from a part of France, and it is extremely strong garlicky flavour. In fact, the seed garlic itself smells incredible. So I need to get these in the ground as soon as possible so they sprout and overwinter and are ready to bulb up when the weather gets warmer next year. I don't actually have a fancy dibber or anything, so I'm just going to use this bit of hazel, sort of marked at the right depth. It is good to be out. It feels good to have got that done today. I know that we'll be really thankful for it in a few weeks' time when they've all sprouted around Christmas time, when you can see something growing in the garden. It always, I don't know, always makes me feel good, even in the depths of winter there's something growing in my garden. But yeah, so that's phase one of the sort of winter plantings that I need to do done. So that's good. So I've finally come out to do a little bit of a reconnaissance walk up on the downs to see if there's anything interesting happening that will be worth filming a little bit later on in the week. And I'm hoping to catch a really nice sunset. There's some beautiful cloud formations at the moment, so hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys. This is the spot. It's one of my favourite spots on the outskirts of the village. I'm going to show you the view. So it's actually been quite a good week for mushrooms for me and my girlfriend. We went over to a patch of woodland that we don't usually go to, and we were rewarded 100-fold. The woodland floor was absolutely carpeted in troops of Cantharellus tubiformis, the winter chanterelle, and they are one of my favourite mushrooms, and they always make me unbelievably happy when they finally show up. We also found some beautiful brown birch boletes, some Leccinum scabrum, and they are always welcome because they make such a good mushroom stock that they go in lots of our cooking during the winter months. And then to top it off, we found some beautiful little hedgehog mushrooms, and they are one of my favourite breakfast mushrooms. These ones were really young, so their spines weren't all flaky, and I had them on toast with a fried egg, as you do, fried in butter, and it was something else, really delicious, and a really beautiful day out. I mean, it was raining, as you know, it has been for weeks now, but it was quite solitary in the woods. It was a beautiful thing. Not bad, eh? And this is one of my favourite little hawthorn trees to sit underneath. So I think I'm going to sit here for a second and just enjoy the colour of these clouds. They're pretty insane. I often get questions in the comments of my videos about foraging and success rates. Especially one of the things that everyone seems to be interested in is it normal to go out and come back with nothing? And I wanted to just address that, because it is more than normal to go out and come back with nothing in the basket. Foraging isn't a sort of shopping list activity, and that's what makes it beautiful, I think. It's the You only ever go out hoping that you're going to find a certain thing in a certain place. When you're dealing with the outside world, which is its very essence just a physical manifestation of chaos. But when you're dealing with the natural world, things do their own thing. It's important to remember that, and also to adjust your thinking to fit in with that. I think, like all of these hobbies or disciplines which are sort of an extension of life itself, sort of artifacts of how we lived previously, things that feed into a lifestyle, so foraging, fishing, bushcraft, all of these things. I think these things are meditative at their core, purely because at the heart of them is the cultivation of hope. It's sort of an aspirational way of being, where you are not in control of what you will find fully, or what you will catch, or what you will experience. The serendipitous nature of all of this stuff, it means that it leaves you open, and I think that's the best way to go through life. So cultivate hope, especially when going out and foraging for mushrooms and things like that. The mycelium will fruit when it feels like and where it feels like. So you've just got to position yourself in the spot where it is most likely. But know that that doesn't guarantee you a good haul. Every single time you go out foraging or go into the landscape, you will always come home with something. And trust me when I say that, you will, if you think about it fully, you will come home with a new experience, maybe a new way of feeling, or at least just a sense of calm that might only last an hour or so. But you will always come back with something, regardless of if your foraging basket is empty. So when you go out, try not to worry about not finding anything, because you can always be safe in the knowledge that you will be enriched and nourished by the landscape when you come back. And that's important, I think. Anyway, talking of that, I'm just going to sit here now as the temperature drops and watch the magenta spread out across the eastern sky. I found some interesting stuff that will be part of the video later on in the week. Thank you very, very much for watching this. If you enjoyed it, then let me know how I can improve this sort of thing. So going forward, I'd love to do one of these a week, and then a big sort of high concept foraging video once a week as well, or like an identification video or something like that. I think it just is a way that I can keep in contact with you. We can share sort of the more esoteric things that go around the things that we love, and I enjoy doing it. It's quite nice coming out here and being able to sort of chat informally. So if you liked it, hit the thumbs up button and hit subscribe for more foraging videos from this beautiful landscape.